I believe so. Test 1, 2. And we're all waiting on Tony. No, that's all right. You tell me when. You got your new shirt.
We do have a meeting in a little while.
You good? All right, good evening, everyone. My name is Kevin Scarpati, Mayor of the City of Meriden. That is S-C-A-R-P-A-T-I. First, to introduce the lineup of individuals behind me, we have our City Manager, Mr. Tim Kuhn. We have Board of Ed President Rob Kuczynski, Superintendent Dr. Mark Benigni, Assistant Superintendent Mike Grove, Director of Transportation David Cardona, the Representative and President of the Teachers Union Lauren Mancini Everett, and Administrators Union President Dr. Lisette Torres. These individuals also shared the podium with me on Friday when I brought to you news of the strike between New Britain Transportation and the Teamsters, and sharing with me the plea to urge these parties to sit down at the table and to figure out either a short-term or a long-term solution. We are here with you this evening, just the second day into this strike, to inform you and notify you that the strike has been concluded and the two parties have settled on an agreement that will return our bus drivers and our students back onto these school buses effective tomorrow morning. And so, again, my thanks and gratitude go out to all of our parents who continue to transport not only their kids, but neighborhood kids and relatives and friends to ensure that they got to schools safely in a timely manner. Friday, I reported to you that we had an attendance of over 89% of students in school learning on Friday. Today, I'm happy to share with you, we had 91% attendance across our schools today. So that just goes to show, from our parents to our teachers who came into our buildings early and stayed late to ensure that they could get our kids to and from school. It was really a community effort, and I can't thank them enough. Lastly, to the parties of New Britain Transportation and the Teamsters Union for ensuring that we remembered to put our kids first. The safety of our kids, getting them into our school buildings, not only safely but quickly, and relieve the burden off of our parents was also important. They struck a deal to make sure that they got our buses rolling tomorrow, and we'll be able to share a little more with you through a couple of more speakers. But overall, this is just a great win for the City of Meriden. It's a great win for our school systems, and most importantly, for our kids and our education system. And so with that, what I'd like to do is share the podium and call up our Board of Education President, Rob Kuczynski, for further remarks. Rob?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Rob Kuczynski, K-O-S-I-E-N-S-K-I, Jr. And make sure I do that for my dad. We're here today to literally celebrate the fact that we are able to have our buses roll tomorrow morning. We appreciate the hard work and dedication put in by every single one of the people behind you, but not only them, each and every member of our school system from 13 different schools and programs. We had school on Friday. Our teachers were enthusiastic, our students were enthusiastic to be in school, but more importantly, our parents stepped up. Our parents got together online and said, hey, listen, I'm driving from East Main Street over to Maloney High School. If anybody needs a ride, I'll be happy to join you. The same thing happens at each and every school. You saw carpools coming in and out, and what a way for this community to understand the challenge that we were going through and to step up. So people have asked, is this contract, was it a Board of Ed contract? No, it wasn't. It was a contract between the New Britain Transportation and the Teamsters Local 671, but the effort was a community effort to solve this problem. They wanted our drivers to get paid well and be paid what they deserve. They wanted NBT to come to the table with the union, and that finally happened. But it's a really huge effort that our community should be very proud of, that we're only on day 2. And I say only day 2, but a lot of strikes have gone a lot longer, and we're so very appreciative of each and every person involved. In a minute, I'm going to bring up Dr. Benigni, who you might want to answer some questions in regard to the logistics of the termination of the contract and then the appointment, in the process going forward. So at this point, I will turn it over to Dr. Mark Benigni.
Thanks, Rob, and want to thank the Board of Education, who's been so supportive throughout this whole process, our terrific teachers and administrators who stepped up. We say here, we really are one team, and we work so closely together. We have great partnerships with our unions that we value, and again, they came to the table. But the big thank you goes to our families and students. I mean, 89% attendance on Friday before a holiday, over 91% attendance today. That doesn't happen without a community coming together and sending a clear message. We value education. Having our children in school matters. So thank you to our students and our families as well. A few things that I'd want to share, then I'll open it up for any questions. It's nice to be able to be up here today and be able to take some of your questions and hopefully provide you with the information that the public needs. And we were anxious to get the message out, but we also were very sensitive to the needs of New Britain Transportation and the Teamsters, who really had to work this out together. We could facilitate and support those efforts, but the job really was for the two of them to come together. So what we have in front of us now is really a bridge agreement. So NBT and the Teamsters have a temporary agreement in place that allows the drivers to come back to work starting tomorrow. They'll work for NBT until a new vendor is in place and ready to take over that contract. And what the drivers will get, as their contract expired, so they don't have per se a new contract, they have a new agreement, and they'll all get a 6% increase on their hourly rate. And when they drive a contract route, so if they're taking a group of students to a field trip, if they're taking one of our sports teams or our band to a competition or a game, they'll be paid at their regular hourly rate, rather than what's typical in the bus industry of a reduced rate. So those are the two things that the drivers are getting coming forward during this bridge agreement. Any other details will have to be settled with a new vendor as we move forward. Look, if finances are a concern, we need to balance our budget. So right now, open positions have been frozen in the city of Meriden for the Board of Education until we get a better sense what the additional cost of busing will be. That will create some hardships across the district, but just like anything else, if we agree to work together, we'll get through those items as well. So that's where we're at right now. Again, a big thank you to the Meriden community, to the team here, because couldn't have done it unless everyone chipped in and really worked together, and that's what occurred here. Proud day for us when we saw the attendance and the students roll through the doors, so kudos. Now I'll open it up to any questions, and if I don't have the answer, someone up here will. You know, the city's been a great partner throughout this whole process. Rather than doing a formalized request for proposal process, we need to get some bids in because of the timeliness of this. So let's get the bids in. We'll work Board of Education staff team with city staff team, and a vendor will be selected there. So already we're reaching out to bus companies saying, if you're interested, let us know. Here's what we were looking for. Here's what we need. We hope that it will be within 6 weeks, but it's a complicated process. So a new vendor needs to hire, hopefully, the current drivers that are already working for NBT have interest in working for a new vendor. They have to go through a background check again, drug testing again. All those elements need to fall into place. But we hope that it can be accomplished in 6 weeks. But if not, the way this agreement reads, we have to December 22nd. And then we'd have to come back and come up with a new agreement. But I can tell you, we're going to do all we can on the board side to make sure that we have a new vendor in place and we're ready to roll with a new company by December 22nd, if not sooner.
So the drivers are not employed by the city, they're employed by NBC. So can you just kind of explain what this means for them in terms of they're not losing their jobs, they're hoping to get hired by the new company?
So for now, the drivers can know they missed 2 days of work. But they're back tomorrow. They'll continue to get their paychecks during this bridge agreement from New Britain Transportation. As we select the new vendor, as that new vendor is put in place, they'll get reach out from the new vendor, are you interested in still driving? And they'll have an opportunity to fill out a new application and work for a new provider. That contract will be negotiated with the new vendor in the Meriden Public Schools. So I think we needed both sides, NBT and the Teamsters, to really put the students first, as the mayor said, and work with us. And I think they both did a great job of doing that. Teamsters had their role, and that's to represent the drivers, advocate for their needs. NBT had to advocate for their company's needs, and at the same time, I needed both to say, hey, there's students here who need a ride to school. Like, our parents have been wonderful, but this isn't going to last forever. I mean, we need buses. So I think what the board did is they basically said, look, we want to work with both of you. We're going to violate the contract and move forward because that's what legally we need to do. We're not looking to take legal action. We're looking to get kids on buses. And that, I think, was a big step for the board to take moving forward. So we're anxious to see that happen. And the bridge agreement, the board's part of that will only be paying whatever the new charter rate is. So if we're taking that field trip, it's going to be a little bit more on those accounts during the bridge agreement, but the 6% increase in their salary will be borne and paid for by New Britain Transportation.
What is the message to parents that their kids will get to school even though all this is happening in background?
So I think first the message is, parents, you did a heck of a good job, and this quite amazing. Like, if you would have asked me, I could not have asked for a better 2 days from our parents, students, and families. But I think the message is, be patient, stay with us, because I don't know that every driver is coming to work tomorrow. It might not be perfectly smooth tomorrow. Give me the same patience you always have given me, and I will share any information that I get with you through Parent Square as soon as I have it. So I basically am looking for our parents to be patient as we sort through this, because I really don't know what tomorrow is going to bring. I don't know that every driver is coming back. Some might have chosen another job option. Some might have looked for work with another bus company. But what I heard is, and I heard this from Tony Lepore, who's the union representative, he said drivers overwhelmingly voted to come back and are excited to be back, and we're excited and thrilled to have them.
You've got to give a timeline of when both sides begin to negotiate once again and come up with this bridge agreement.
So I think the negotiations were, like any negotiation, they don't always run smoothly. I think having a third party like the Meriden Public Schools, we brought in our legal team to kind of help work through some of those details. And I think once we brought in our legal team a few weeks ago, I started seeing steps in a positive direction. Even if it was our legal team reaching out to their lawyers and having the conversations, I think that was very, very helpful. And I think ultimately, we're the ones who needed the service. We need these buses running, so it was advantageous for us to get involved when we did and kind of not be a mediator per se, but help mediate disagreements and discussions.
So it wasn't, say, like Friday or over the weekend that you guys met once again, because I remember the teams were saying that you haven't been able to get a meeting with any people.
So I think over the last week, just about every day, I've had conversations with the owner of NBT and the Teamsters leader, Tony Lepore. I think I gave him Sunday off, but beyond that, I think I've been in touch with him just about every day. I think Friday we had some things in the works. I appreciate the mayor doing a press conference, sharing the information that I couldn't share, because no matter what I said, it would be perceived as, am I siding with the Teamsters? Am I siding with NBT? And really, I want to side with the community and the children and families of the city and get kids back on buses.
What kind of confidence do you have or assurances that there's some bus companies out there that are having capacity right now to take on the city side of Meriden?
So, Mike, do you want to jump in and take that question?
Sure. So Dave and myself, we've been in contact with multiple companies, and we do have insurances. At least 2 are going to provide bids. Others are looking into it if they're going to have enough capacity to do this. One of the things is the buses. We have the drivers in Meriden, but the other companies need the buses. So there's at least 2 companies that already confirmed that they're going to be interested in bidding on our bus contract.
And depending on location of where another company coming in, where they're going to store the buses, again, that's why it's so important that we partner with the city, and they've been terrific partners, whether that's working with their economic development office, is there a site in Meriden to do that? So some of these details are going to unfold as we go, but it's what I've always said, what makes Meriden special is people get along, they work together, it's a great place, and that's what we're going to need moving forward here to make this happen successfully.
So to be clear, right now, you have bids already from other bus companies.
Conversations.
More, I wouldn't categorize them as bids, more personal conversations with people expressing interest. Any other questions?
This is probably the next, but just can you spread a message to families who have been so frustrated by this over the last few days? Thank you for your patience.
Yeah.
Everything will be
So I tried to hit on that, but really, I want to thank the families, our students, and the community for all chipping in. It was remarkable. And if you didn't leave the last 2 days with a sense of pride, what Meriden's all about, you missed out on something special, because 89% and 91% attendance can hold its own with any day in this district. So we want to give great kudos to our students and families. We want to thank them. I know that we can't ask them to do this forever. That's why I'm so glad that we're here today with good news. But I also, I'm imploring upon them to give us some patience as we transition back to the buses tomorrow. It's not going to be perfect.
Good job, thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Good job.
All right, good. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Mayor. Always good to see you.